I'm Angela Torito, and I'm the owner of the Barn Yarn, and this is my daughter Anna. I opened the shop June 6, 2014. My shop is not a typical yarn shop. I teach a lot of different fiber arts, but the reason that I'm here is to teach people how to create. What inspired me to create this shop was the fact that I was on the farm for a number of years, knitting, crocheting, spinning, working with the animals, and loving the small farm life, but also wanting to share that and teach people how you go from animal to the final product, the yarn, or using the raw fibers actually even in weavings and different projects. But a lot of people weren't willing to come to my house to share that. It was a little awkward, you know, inviting people to your house. So I decided, what a better way than to help my community by helping the Downtown Historic District and bring my love for the fiber and for animals and for small farming right downtown. What a better place, Claremont. It's every kind of customer, because what's unique about what I was hoping to create by opening the shop was to bring every and anybody with any skill to be able to learn something new, to try something different. And I also have an organic coffee that my husband and I came up with a blend in 2011, and we have a small roasting company. They're just north of Orlando area that's been roasting that for us.
I work full-time as an electrical engineer. I'm an electrical contractor with my father. We have an electrical company, and she was talking about starting a business for a long time, and we kept thinking, oh my goodness, this is going to be a lot of work for everyone, but she really wanted to do it, and she was set on it, and we were like, okay, I guess we'll take the plunge with you. So when she finally opened, we knew it was going to, well, the year before we opened, we renovated the building, and she designed everything. So, you know, I work in construction. We kind of knew what we were getting into, but she had this great idea for it, and we couldn't exactly see how it was going to work out, but she could.
Because that's the engineer and the artist working together. Yes, so that was a little difficult.
It turned out beautifully, but throughout that year, we kind of realized how much work we were going to be putting in at the Barn Yarn, and it was exciting, and we're really excited that she's able to open this, and now I get to work full-time with my father and then come here and volunteer with my mother, and we get to spend a lot of time together. I handle a lot of the business end, the back end, a lot of the accounting for all of her inventory, and make sure everything's taken care of so that she can focus on the art and teaching and the community. She has a lot of things that she does for the community, and she doesn't have time to worry about the back end of everything. So when she's out teaching classes to ladies at lunch, or if she's teaching, you know, sometimes she goes out and does outreach at schools. She also has, you know, she built a little free library out in front of the store just to bring community members to share library books, and, you know, she likes to encourage reading amongst everyone, including the youth, and she likes to inspire creativity amongst adults.
I think if I was to give advice to someone about opening a new business, and especially a business in the arts, which is very difficult regardless of what art it is, performing arts, visual arts. It's a difficult thing for the person who has the vision, unless they have support of someone who can manage the business end. And I have found, prior to me even opening, I discussed with a few friends who have yarn shops throughout, not in the state of Florida, but in other states, and they had given me that advice also, that make sure you have somebody who can handle the business end. So that's really why when Anna said she'd help me, I said, okay, then let's do this. So now I'd like to show you how we go from the actual fiber off of the animal to the final product, which would be the yarn that we spin that you can use in your project that you make. So the first part of processing your fiber is to pick it, or as we call it in the fiber industry, skirting your fiber. So here's just raw fiber right off of my sheep, and you can see this is full of vegetation. So what I've got to do is I lay it out here, and then I start picking the vegetation out of it. This is a very tedious process, but it'll be worth it in the end. And this is right off of my sheep. So normally I'd have it a little bit cleaner, Sometimes I wash them before we shear them, but we didn't do that this time. So I have extra fiber, extra debris. And then you can shake it and flip it, and you continue on until you get the majority of the dirt and debris out of the fiber. The next process after that is to wash the fiber. And I usually take a big bin and I fill it with water, and I rinse it a number of times until it becomes, dirt particles become looser. And it takes about probably, at least a couple hours to get all the dirt out of this fiber because it's extremely dirty. Then we can go inside and I'll show you the next step. So after we dry the fiber, after it's been washed and cleaned, and if it's wool, all the lanolin is out because the lanolin is the sticky oils in the sheep's wool, and you need to get that out so that it's not sticky when you use it for your knitting. Then we dye the fibers, and these are some already dyed with a little bit of shiny stuff in them. So now let me show you what we do after that. This is, take the fibers and put them on this carder. This takes all the fibers that are all mushed up and puts them in the same direction so that the length of the staple, which is the length of each individual fiber, is all going in the same direction so that you can then spin it and turn it into yarn. But first we have to card it. And there's a couple of different ways to card. This is a drum carder. This is one method. You just keep adding different fibers until you're done adding them. You feed the fiber in through here. It's one method, or you can actually take a piece of the fiber and actually place it on the top, exactly where you'd like it to be, on the drum, and then roll it. Then, when you fill this up with enough fiber and you're ready to spin it, you pull it off. And you've got fiber ready to spin. After we get the fiber ready off of the drum carder, which is one method of processing, there's many others, but that's just one of processing it for spinning, then you spin. And this is Faith, and she's showing us on a wheel how she turns this fiber into yarn. And she's spinning traditional yarn, which is very fine and thin yarn. But there's many other types of yarns. You can use different wheels and spin very thick and chunky yarns. And then there's also something we call art yarn, which incorporates a lot of different interesting fibers and bobbles and things. So stop by the shop and learn a little something new. Let me help you, inspire you to create. We're at 713 West Montrose Street in the Historic District of Claremont, Florida. Check us on our website at www.thebarnyarn.com. Can't wait to meet you. Looking forward to helping inspire you to create.